for having me.
It's fantastic. We have this wonderful new yellow background for this year, and we're just getting used to it. It makes me look all pink. It makes you look all gorgeous.
Thank you, Gary. Yellow is even my favorite color. Thanks for
Is it?
appreciating. I really get confidence when I see yellow color.
Do you?
I do, yeah.
Wow, fantastic. So tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and where you do it, please.
So I'm Meghna Nakrani. I currently work as an IBX critical facilities and operations engineer in Equinix DB5. It is based in Dublin, Ireland. And
Wow.
yeah, we do carry out operations like in IBX happen. It is a data center. So a particular day in Equinix could be a little challenging because it's a new project and we get to learn so many things with with immensely experienced people.
Isn't that interesting? And it's well, the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is because many of the people that listen to these shows aren't as technical as others. So for most people, they see a data center just as a data center. It holds servers and stuff. IBX, however, is more about connecting the planet
Yes.
than just storing data in a location. So, what is IBX stand for? What is it? And why is it becoming more and more relevant?
So IBX stands for International Business Exchange. So it does, Equinix do provides the space for the different companies, multinational companies to store their data. For that, they provide the infrastructure. For that, they provide the facility. For that, they provide the operations team, which works on uh, power usage, which work on transmissions, which work on computers, which holds their data, and it is at a safe place. So that's what IBX is about, pretty much about. So
So the center, there's two words in data center. The center is where the data rests. The IBX and the data is how it interconnects between the geographic locations,
it does, yeah, country to country, it does.
country to country, of course. And then obviously for your clients, whether
Yeah.
they're customer facing or whether they're other businesses, you break out from it. Because often people say, well, data center, all it is a big box that sits out in the corner. What actually happens? And how did you get into that? How do you arrive at being an IBX engineer in Dublin?
So actually, my big background is from aviation. I did my aerospace engineering. Before that, I was a mechanical engineer. Well, in aerospace, by working with turbines and turbine engines and all, I I learned how to work, how to do maintenance on avionics, which is known as the electronics of an aircraft. So here in IBX data center, we mostly do the maintenance and we carry out work orders on the electronics part of the part of the project. Even we do have mechanical part and electronics part. So I do have a background to work in an IBX. As far as I know, DB5X, it is an X scale, it is a large scale data center. It's just not a data center. It is I would say I would define it as a power plant because we have an energy center which cuts down the power from a transformer. That energy center have big turbine generators, and it has 6 different fuel tanks. Then that goes to we do have a water treatment plant where we treat the rainwater, where we treat the underground water, everything and all. We do have our main building, which is DB5X. We do have the cooling towers to provide air conditioning in the data halls. So, and we do have even solar panels, which generates energy from the daylight. So I would
It,
consider it as a power plant.
isn't it extraordinary too?
Yes, it is an extraordinary kind of, yeah, it's
It,
magical.
it's a confluence, you see. This is the time that we're in a time of rapid change
Yes,
where
we
the
are.
data where the data in the centers are the oxygen of this industrial age.
Yes,
And
the transition for consuming the green energy, which does not have much of residues, which does not create toxic, which does not have that bad environmental impact. So
Yeah.
that is the thing which we are working on. DB5X is more of green, associated with the green energy. We do have more plants and more trees as well on the site. We do have the plants which attracts the honeybees and all. So yes, we do have a sustainability in the
But let's get
IBX.
back to you. Let's get back to you for a second, because you're way more interested in that than a big data center. So you said there that you are, oh, I'm an aviation engineer. Before that, I was a mechanical engineer. Hold on a second. So how many degrees do you actually have then?
I did my bachelor's in mechanical engineering.
Yeah.
And then I do have a license as an aircraft maintenance engineer. I'm on a Cat A license from European Aviation Safety Agency. And then after I was in there for 3 years, and then after I switched to IBX, I just wanted to go smart hands.
Yeah.
So you cannot be working with your hands the whole life, right? You need to get more smarter. So that's what my transition is like. I do, and now I do use so many programs, so many apps on the computer. I even do carry out the work orders. I even do maintenance on that. And so it's mixed up in IBX. So I really love this. Yeah.
Wow. But it is like foundational. Most stuff is about discipline and application.
Yes, it
You're
is.
good at discipline and application. The change maybe in the industry just needs your attention on certain key metrics to learn. But is it about application? Is it about learning to fully invest the time? You said earlier, with other people who actually have been on the journey for a bit longer, often, and this is a question I'd like to ask is, and it's been dispelled by so many interviews I've done with your generation of recently, is there's less of a gap than the media like to project between older and younger employees. It seems to be when they have a project of common purpose.
Yeah. Well, I would put this answer in a way that learning is a lifelong process. You can learn the whole life from each and everything you see, you experience, or you have. So, yes, I do have a team of immensely experienced people who have deep knowledge in particular fields. That's how I'm gaining knowledge from them. And I don't see that as a challenge. I take it as a learning process. I don't want to take it as a challenge that, oh, I don't know this. They know that. What am I going to do with this? No, no, no. I'm going to ask them humbly that could you please help me with with this, uh, with this a topic which I'm not having an understanding. So yes, I do learn from them.
And
So
you're also in the space that IBX, the principle and concept of IBX maybe didn't exist 15 years ago. So you're all learning together, whether you like to believe it or not, right?
I think so. Yes, yes, yes. Maybe this transition after the century change, the transition which I am in.
Yeah.
I feel myself lucky enough to be in this position, and I really appreciate the team who chose me.
So, with all that wonderful positivity, there must be something. What do you find personally the biggest challenge?
So now, this challenge for me, maybe it could be I'm more overachiever. It could be I might be an overachiever. I confess that. So the challenge over here in IBX is, which I see the projects which goes on. I would like to be a visionary person.
Hmm.
I don't want to be unaware about single thing which happens in the energy centers, which happens in the IBX. I would like to know everything about an IBX because I'm kind of a person. If I do something, I give my 100% on that.
Yeah.
So if I want to be a visionary person, like the most experienced people in my team are, like whenever they get to know a little problem or a little snag in the operations, they would guess that thing. Oh yeah, this could be the cause. Oh yes, this could be the reason this happened. So I would like to be like I want to be like that. And if well, And if it doesn't work out well, I would definitely make myself like them in few years. I know their experience is immense, like 20, 30 years experienced. Mine is just few years.
So you're
But
an impatient
the
learner,
talented mind. But and yeah, I would like to be a visionary person.
but
Yes,
you're an impatient learner, maybe. Maybe that's a good, you're a great learner, but you're impatient to get
yes.
sometimes, I go and I dig the garden every spring and I wish that my hands had calluses on them when they because by the time the calluses grow, I stop doing the gardening. So sometimes it takes time.
Yeah,
The
but
other
you know, slow and steady wins the race, so I'm fine.
Yeah, well, it's a combination of both. But for you, and we'll finish up soon with this. For you, um, in 10 years' time, my goodness, what have you achieved? I'm trying to work out in my head what you've achieved in the last 10 years. You've had a bachelor's degree, you've been in aviation, you're now an IBX, you're now on the cusp of turning electrons into photons to go back into electrons to change the world. With those tools and experience, what do you think you're going to be doing? Not where, what in 10 years' time? My goodness.
Let's take it 5 years.
5 years then. Go on.
Take it 5 years. 10 years would be a great
Oh,
person.
yeah. Yeah, that's
Great.
fair.
It's a decade,
Five.
so I'll take a five. Half of it is right to be. Yeah. So I think um the things which I'm doing now with the IBS, I'm learning now, right? So in the case of 5 years, I would see myself leading a team, leading an operation team. I would like to be, I would like to lead a project. I see myself like that. Yes, I see like myself like that. And well, energy is the future. Energy
Yeah.
is the future. And I love energy. So I would like to keep myself in that phase.
That's such a lovely way to finish because so many people who aren't in the data center industry believe that the data center people just use willy-nilly the energy that's provided to them, when in actual fact, most companies that want to sustain their business going forward are energy companies and data companies.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
it's the most
Yes,
valuable
I'm going to combine.
resource. Exactly.
Yes.
Most valuable resource. So listen, I've really enjoyed speaking to you. I feel so underqualified.
Oh, please don't be intimidated by me, please.
I was a COBOL programmer 40 years ago and I was rubbish at that. So I'm just so glad that the next wave of integration and innovation are from people like yourself who have a holistic view of the good, the bad, the stuff that needs to be improved, the key to collaboration, intercollaboration and stuff. So thank you so much for giving us of your time. It's been interesting and insightful.
Thank you so much for having me. And I really
Yeah.
enjoyed talking to you, by the way. I really enjoyed answering your questions. They were really interesting. Yeah. I love interesting topics like you asked. So
You did well.
I really enjoyed them.
You did very well. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Garry. I hope we'll